ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get started. Maria is going to introduce what is going on here today and tell you a little bit about what the students have been working on these past 2 months. So round of applause for Maria.
Welcome everybody to our first Town Hall Presidential Debate. For the past 8 weeks, our advanced reading and social studies class has been learning about our 3 presidential candidates, Gary Johnson, Donald Trump, and Hillary Clinton. Using all the research we've done, we created commercials and presentations. Now we gather all of you here to watch this Town Hall Presidential Debate. This debate should show you more about the candidates, what they stand for, what they view on certain topics, and most of all, it should help you with the choice of your vote. The candidates will have 90 seconds to introduce themselves. Then, the candidates will be asked a series of questions. They'll have 60 seconds to respond to the questions. We ask the audience to be respectful, no yelling, no clapping, and no disrespectful comments. Now, I will be introducing a special person. He attended Purdue Calumet and Notre Dame. He was in the Navy and he's been our mayor for 12 years. And tonight we are very honored today we'll be very honored. He'll be our moderator. Please welcome Mayor Thomas McDermott.
Oh, wow. Hi, everybody. It's an honor to host this presidential debate. It's not very often you have a presidential debate with the presidential candidates and the vice presidential candidates in the same debate. So here at Clark High School, we have a very special debate. So thank you very much for inviting me on. It's my pleasure to be your moderator. Now I have the honor to introduce the candidates. I'm going to start with the vice presidential candidate and then get to the presidential candidate. So first off, I want to introduce the Democratic Party's vice presidential candidate, Tim Kaine. Looking good, Tim. And the Democratic Party's presidential candidate, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Next, from the Libertarian Party, the vice presidential candidate, Bill Weld. And from the Libertarian Party, the presidential candidate, Gary Johnson. Hey guys, how's it going? Looking good? From the Republican Party, the Indiana governor, former Indiana governor, and the vice presidential candidate, Mike Pence. And the Republican Party's presidential candidate, Donald Trump. Donald, it's good to see you had the same hairstyle. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take my seat over here, or actually I'll stand, I guess. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the debate questions, all right? We chose the order that we're going to go in today, and we're going to start off with the Libertarian Party. They won the flip. So, here, I'll go ahead. Governors Johnson and Weld, because you are not representing a major political party, many Americans don't know much about you. Governor Johnson, this is the first time you, a Libertarian, have been on stage with Democratic or Republican candidates. Many Americans do not know much about the Libertarian Party. Can you summarize the Libertarian platform?
The Libertarian platform can be defined by just individual freedom, and as long as nobody gets hurt.
Well, that's good. Very good. Governor Weld, many Americans believe that voting for you would be wasting their vote. How do you respond to that?
Well, if the people who wanted to vote for us actually did, we would have 65% of the votes. Don't waste your vote by voting the 2 evils.
The evil Republican and Democratic Party. Okay. Let's move on to the pressing issues currently facing us Americans. We cannot go a day without hearing about the impending threat of ISIS. The impending threat of ISIS. As president, how will you protect Americans from this and other terrorist organizations? We'll go to you, Secretary Clinton. You have 1 minute to respond.
Thank you. The impending threat of ISIS is urgent and real, and it needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. These previous attacks have made it clear that these terrorist groups are not messing around. I will be the one to take out ISIS's stronghold in Syria. I will dismantle their global networks so they won't get their supplies like money or weapons or even their fighters. I'm going to harden our defense systems at home and move boots on the ground. I've been very transparent with my plans to defeat ISIS. Trump, on the other hand, has kept his a secret this entire time. How do we even know he has a plan? He could be lying to us all. As Secretary of State, I've had a lot of experience with this, and I know how to execute a military plan. Trump does not.
Very good, Secretary Clinton, former Secretary of State of the United States of America. Mr. Trump, Secretary Clinton had some harsh words for you. How do you respond to that?
Well, first off, we need to start by cutting off the funds of ISIS by destroying oil plants and cutting off their networks to guns and selling weapons. We need to cut all of that off. And I would keep my information about destroying ISIS confidential, unlike you.
Burn. Good job. Good job. Finally, Governor Johnson, you have 1 minute to respond.
Well, I think that I will cut off funding as quickly as I can for ISIS and other impending terrorist groups, so then they can't be trading weapons, people, and if authorized by Congress and after a meaningful debate, I will send brave soldiers to fight them off. Wait, I forgot. Sorry. But I don't think that we should interfere with them if it doesn't involve us in any way, shape, or form in the beginning.
Very good, Governor. Candidates, you have the opportunity to refute your opposition statements. You will have 30 seconds for your rebuttal. Anybody want to refute? No refuting going on? Yeah? Oh, I knew you would, Mr. Trump. Go ahead and refute, sir.
Also, we need to rebuild and enhance our military and cut off foreign countries from migrating to our country because we don't know if they're having terrorists come to our country or exporting them, so we need to cut that off.
Good job. Anybody else? Oh, Secretary Clinton.
Going back to what you said earlier, Mr. Trump. I'm sorry. You've kept this a secret the entire time. I've been very clear with my plans. America knows what I'm going to basically help them with. They know nothing about your plan with ISIS whatsoever.
Governor Johnson? Nothing. All right, sure? All right, no problem. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Speaking of foreign affairs and security, over the past few years, Americans have become more and more aware of the presence of the NSA in their lives, National Security Administration. To what extent do you support the National Security Administration? We're going to go with our vice presidential candidates this time. Let's go to Governor Pence. Governor Pence, you have 1 minute to respond to the NSA question.
Thank you. Mr. Trump and I support the USA Patriot Act from the NSA. The USA Patriot Act basically is cell phone metadata collection, which is the operation in which we monitor suspicious feed going on in our cyber world. The USA is a big country, and the NSA is a must-have to keep our country safe from foreign attacks. I feel as if attacks such as the Orlando shooting, a tragic event, could have been easily avoidable if the NSA security was more tighter. People of the United States feel more protected even if we collect data from foreign and domestic territories. To sum up, Trump and I feel the NSA is very necessary to protect the United States.
Very good, Governor. Good handshake. Good job, guys. All right, Governor Weld, you have 1 minute to respond.
Well, me and Johnson don't support the NSA. We feel that review surveillance on phone calls and internet activity, we're invading our citizens' privacy. If me and Johnson were elected, we will eliminate the IRS, NSA, and any government-based companies. Those who surrender for freedom of security don't deserve nor have it. It is also stated in the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution that the government cannot invade the privacies of citizens unless they have done anything bad, like any crimes.
Great job, Governor. Finally, Senator Kane, you have 1 minute to respond.
Both Clinton and I support the NSA. However, we feel like they should change their tactics up a bit. Not letting the US know what they are doing will raise confusion and curiosity over the US. The American people feel betrayed. They should share the reasons why they go through emails, messages, and more so that hopefully they can answer their questions. Also, we feel like they should share the process, but not too much that the terrorists will find a round way through security. They should increase visa investigation to the people who traveled in a country where there's a terrorist presence. That will help. Also, we need to increase the security in monitoring the social media where there's a lot of recruitment going around.
Good job, Senator. Candidates, you have the opportunity to refute your opposition statements. You have 30 seconds for your rebuttal. Anybody? Nothing, Donald? You sure? You're supposed to go wrong, like stuff like that there. All right. One of the biggest issues of this election season has been that of immigration. I heard you talk about that earlier. Do you believe that there is a need to reform our immigration policy in America? If so, what changes do you propose and why? Governor Johnson, you will have 1 minute to respond to this question on immigration.
Yes, I do think we need to reform our immigration policies. I think we should welcome immigrants. And I think that we should issue all immigrants a visa work card that supply a social security and an ID. And they must live here for 2 years and get a legal job that the government has access to. I think these changes should be made because, well, to get past a 10-foot wall, all you need is an 11-foot ladder. That's what Donald Trump says that he wants to build. And this will be blocking out dreamers, the badly needed help we need, and successors. And I do think that, wait, never mind. Wait, I'm good. Wait, I thought I had more in them.
Good. All right. Very good, Governor. Secretary Clinton, you have 1 minute to respond to the question on immigration.
Immigration is a very, very controversial topic. Unlike my opposing candidate, Mr. Trump, I want immigrants to have an opportunity to reform a path to full and equal citizenship. I will reunite families so they don't feel so alone and alienated. I will abolish family detention once and for all. Families who want health insurance should get it. If Congress won't act, I will. We rely on partners in Muslim countries to fight terrorists for us, so banning immigrants isn't going to do us any good.
Very good job, Secretary Clinton. I heard your opponent, Mr. Trump, say wrong a couple times during that. You know, Mr. Trump, you proposed building a wall and having Mexico pay for it. Is that your immigration policy?
I plan to build a wall. I plan to put a temporary ban on any immigrants pouring into our country. And also, I feel like it is not idealistic that we have immigrants that live under a roof, but some of our U.S. citizens are living in poverty.
It's a beautiful wall you're going to build, right? A beautiful, beautiful wall. Okay. Candidates, you have the opportunity to refute your opposition statement. Of course, Secretary Clinton would like to refute you, Mr. Trump.
Donald, all we ever hear from you is, oh, I'm going to build a wall. How is that going to benefit America? I understand with the jobs, but at the same time, the most hard workers, America is pretty much an immigrant country, which makes it a lot better.
Mr. Johnson, any of the VP candidates? Talking immigration.
I was gonna.
Okay, here you go. You have 1 minute, sir.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that I used to govern a border state, which was New Mexico. So I think I do have a better experience with immigrants, as it was a border state. So.
Very good point. Anybody else? All right, very good. Immigration. All right, next topic, the economy. You know, all of you have promised that if you were president, you would help our economy. What is your plan to create jobs for Americans? Governor Pence, you have 1 minute to respond. How will you create jobs and fix our economy?
Thank you. Trump and I want to raise the minimum wage to $13 to $15 an hour. Mr. Trump and I plan to take the unemployment rate and plummet it to 5 to 6%. Me and Mr. Trump, we will accomplish this by cutting taxes on wealthy and successful business owners, which will then create more funding for them to create thousands of more jobs and then raise the minimum wage. As I previously stated, Trump's great business-making skills will create a blueprint for the future of America's economy.
Good job, Governor. Senator Kane, you have 1 minute to respond to the question about the economy.
One of the main things we can do to help small businesses is to cut taxes for the middle class. We have to support small businesses so that they can grow and hire more people. This is a great benefit for the millennials who wants to start their own small businesses. Although the millennials is drowning in student debt and has a lack access of student credit, so therefore they're not able to follow their dreams. Small businesses makes up 2/3 of the newest jobs. We should also provide tax relief for the small businesses. We need to go through fairer, smarter, tougher trade policies for the U.S. jobs to make it the first one. We have to knock down barriers so that jobs, expansions, and prosperity are available to everyone in America.
Good job. Governor Weld, you have 1 minute to respond.
Well, me and Johnson support the idea of incentivized job growth. As a governor of Massachusetts, I know that it used to be known state to have the highest unemployment rate, but I was able to make that to be the lowest of all and have get everyone jobs under 8 years. Our plan is to not over-regulate businesses. We also will not allow minimum wage, because if we eliminate minimum wage, we can help smart businesses flourish.
Great job. You know, before we get into the last question, I want to give you a chance to just sort of talk about whatever you want, like sort of introduce yourself to the voters. So, Secretary Clinton, I'm going to go ahead and start with you, and then I'll go to Mr. Trump, and then we'll get to the Libertarian, okay? Secretary Clinton, could you go ahead and just, who are you know?
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming out today. I'm very honored to be here representing the Democratic Party. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, into a middle-class home, just like pretty much all of you. I graduated from Wellesley College in 1969, then afterwards continued on to Yale Law School and graduated in 1973. I'm a mother of one, my daughter Chelsea, and a grandmother of 2, Aiden and Charlotte. I've been in politics for 35 years now, first as First Lady when Bill Clinton was president. Then in 2000 I became U.S. Senator, and then Secretary of State. I was nominated by President Obama himself, and I graciously accepted. On January 21st, 2009, I became the 67th U.S. Secretary of State. I used my position to basically make women's rights and just overall human rights a central talking point. I stand for equality, basically stating no matter your age, race, weight, gender, ethnicity, your background, how you grew up, it shouldn't matter. You should be treated with the same respect as anybody else. Out of the 3 candidates up here, I will be the one to make sure that the NSA, basically you guys don't feel betrayed anymore with the NSA. And out of us 3 candidates, Kane and I will be the ones to defeat ISIS and ensure safety and security in America once again.
Good job. So this is a question of who are you? Introduce yourself. Mr. Trump, I've seen you on reality TV. I just don't really know who you are. So can you please introduce yourself?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here. I, Donald Trump, am the Republican presidential candidate. I'm running alongside Mike Pence, the Republican vice presidential candidate. We pledge to make America great again. We want to bring back jobs into our country. We want to get weapons, drugs out of the street. We want to erase that $1 trillion deficit. And me, myself, I started off with a loan from my father of $1 million, and I have raised that to a multi-million-dollar organization. If anyone here knows how to fix the economy, it's me.
Good job, Mr. Trump. Last. Governor Johnson, can you please sort of this, who are you? You know, if we elect you as our next president, what type of person are you?
Well, I would just like to say good afternoon, I think, everyone, and it is a great honor to be here today. I am Gary Johnson, and this is my running mate, Bill Weld, and I am the Libertarian candidate. I used to be the governor of New Mexico, and I would be re-elected time and time again for many things such as lowering taxes. As a Libertarian, I have always wanted, I did not get that right. As a Libertarian, us Libertarians do not want to just stand in the bleachers and do not just want to watch as the 2 teams go at it. We want to join in and we want to show a different winning of the game. Gary Johnson, support marriage equality, equal rights, lowering taxes, internet privacy, and fairness for immigrants. I want to make immigration laws less strict. And I'm not one for racial profiling, so I will try my best to make everyone equal. And I will allow Syrian refugees to come to the United States, and I just want everyone to have their own individual rights.
Thank you, Governor. You notice the Libertarian ticket has 2 governors, so executives, they both ran the state, Massachusetts and New Mexico. The Democratic ticket has 2 senators, so they're both from our legislature. Senator Kane from Virginia, Senator Clinton from New York. And then you got the Republican ticket with Governor Pence, who's governor of Indiana, and a businessman. So it's interesting, the dynamics of what's going on with each of our tickets. Okay, we got one question and then we'll get into our close. Finally, Americans have only one vote. Why do you deserve that vote? Secretary Clinton, you're gonna go ahead and start us off. Why should Americans vote for you? Can you please answer that in 1 minute?
I have the most background experience. 35 years in politics, that's a lot. Honestly, I feel like Mr. Trump, if you went bankrupt twice, how are you supposed to create jobs in America? How? And with the immigration policies, the main thing we hear you say is, oh, I'm gonna build a wall, 10-foot wall, that's all I'm gonna do. I stand for equality. I will be the one to take down ISIS. I'm going to reform our NSA policy to where we all feel basically safe. Because yes, I do feel as if terrorist groups are getting together over social media, and we need to monitor that. However, you guys should know what we're doing. And I hope by the end of this debate, I have won your vote.
Thank you, Secretary Clinton. Mr. Trump, why should America vote for you? You have 1 minute to respond.
Well, as you can see, Hillary has been a senator for a numerous amount of years, and she still hasn't done nothing. And Gary Johnson, We don't know much about his political views. He's not very assertive about what he wants and what he wants to do. With my smarts and my business intellects, I feel like I can run a country. And hopefully after this debate, you think I can too, and your vote will go to me.
Good job, Mr. Trump. Finally, Governor Johnson, you have 1 minute to respond on why should America vote for you, Governor?
I think I deserve your vote because, well, as my running mate said earlier, you do not have to vote for the lesser two evils in this whole race. Because, well, Hillary Clinton, though a senator and Secretary of State, she has never had his executive position. And Donald Trump, a successful businessman, but he's never been in a public office or he's never been accountable for his taxpayers, and he's gone bankrupt many times. I think I would be best because I have been there and done that, as I've had executive experience as a popular two-term governor.
All right. Thank you to the candidates for participation in today's town hall. Can you give them all a big round of applause, everybody? Audience members, I now ask that you consider what you've learned here today and vote for the candidate you think would be the best president of the United States of America. Each of you will be asked to vote on your way back to class. Choose wisely. You only have one vote. Make that vote count. Big round of applause, everybody. Good job, you guys. Okay, you guys are excused, I think. Give them a big round of applause, everybody. It takes a lot of guts to do. Also, I want to thank Mrs. Miranda and Mrs. Tiscarino. Could you give them a big round of applause for lining us all up? You know, we have Go Hammond TV in the back of the room right now filming this, so you'll be able to see this on Go Hammond TV as well when it's all done. So I wanted to just go ahead and say thank you for asking me to come out and be the moderator. You know, I want you to hear something, guys. These elections are accurate. What you guys are doing. Why do you think your elections are accurate? People actually follow elections in high schools to try to figure out what's going on nationally. Why does that matter? Why do you think that's true? Anybody? Where's Trump at? Trump, why do you think these are accurate? By the way, what's your name? Real name? Juan. Good job today. Give Juan a big round of applause. You all did great. Juan, why do you think high school elections are accurate predictors of the presidential election?
Well, because as high schoolers, they're bound to be early to vote.
Okay.
So when they learn about the system, then they can use that to further their education.
But, okay, so you educated yourself obviously on Mr. Trump and Mr. Pence, right? But you're not old enough to vote. So why does that matter?
Because I have a huge influence on my parents and the
Bam. Great answer. Exactly. You know, when I'm running for mayor, if you guys have mock elections for the mayor's race in here, you think I'm not interested in what the results are? Even though Juan can't vote for Mayor McDermott, Juan usually does what Juan's parents do. And that's the truth. So what you guys are doing today is going to give us an idea on how Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump, and Governor Johnson are going to do in Hammond. Keep in mind, the national election, this is just one little snapshot. This is a very complicated race. Each state is worth all their electoral votes. So what you guys are going to tell us after your election today is, how is Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump, and Governor Johnson going to do in the Whiting-Robertsdale area, is what you're telling us. But it's accurate, and I think it's really cool that you guys are doing this. So I just want to say thank you as your mayor. I love coming out to Clark. I love talking to the Clark students. I love participating in stuff like this. And I love government. This is like the Super Bowl for me tomorrow. As sad as that sounds, right? Not as good as the World Series, right? Go Cubs, right? Tough room. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for inviting me out. I love doing this, and hopefully I can come to your classroom and talk a little bit more about government. So thank you guys. Have a nice day. Sorry, man.
All right, so can we all give Mayor McDermott another round of applause for coming out today? awesome to live and work in a city with such supportive mayors, so we owe him a lot.